Everyone, this is Lori from the Crafting Auntie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you some things that I have created in creating this design team project for Polka Art Studio. Now I'm using their gorgeous kit, which is Rustic Embroidery, and I have already constructed this. I'll show you what I've done in the final flip through, but I just wanted to show you some things that I did inside. Now this is a double journal. So we have a journal on this side, which I'll just open and show you, and we'll do the rest through the final flip through. And then when you turn it over, you have a journal, same thing, on this side. So what I'm going to show you in this video is basically some of the ephemera pieces that I have created to go inside here, and also a little bit of decorating on the outside. So I've already constructed this. They are sewn in the signatures with just elastic, but I will show you all of that in the final flip through. So let's get started, and I'll show you how I made some of the pieces to go inside. Real quickly, before we get started in the next step of the things that I have created to go inside this, I would like to give a shout out to a sweet girl, young lady. Her name is Fiona Marie Nelson, and I met her out camping. My husband and I took a week vacation, and we were camped right next door, and she was so very kind. So I want to say, hi Fiona, I hope things are going well for you. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do a couple of things. So because these pages are so gorgeous, I don't want to cover them up. So I thought what I'd do is do some small envelopes. And then I thought to use them as a pocket. But then I also thought it'd be fun to have something peeking through, because there's some beautiful pages of these, and I thought, oh, it might be kind of fun to put a little hole in the top of the envelope. So let's start with the envelopes. So what I'm going to do is take my hole punch. It's just a 1-inch hole punch, and I'm just going to come down as far as I can and punch a hole. And then fold the flaps like that. And then I'm just going to use a small piece of acetate on this back side. So the plan would be to put this on a page and have something peeking through. So let me see. Let me just grab my scissors, and we'll cut a little piece of acetate. Doesn't have to be very big. Then I'm going to glue it on this back side. Then I'll just trim off the excess. And then we'll just glue this together. And that'll make my pocket. And then I want to place it on a page inside my journal. So let's open this up. Here's a couple that I've already put on. So I think I'll go to the other side. This is a double journal, so I'll go to this side, and let's find a page that will have something fun to peek through. And I decided to do them in just the 3 colors, so the pink, the blue, and the yellow. Ooh, this might be good. So let's just glue that down right here. And then this is going to hold some of the ephemera. So we can just tuck some in like that. So that is the envelopes. I'll be doing the other 2 and adding it into this. So the next thing I wanted to show you is the page pocket. So all you need for this is a complete page. So if you took a page like this from the kit and fold it in half, trim off the white edges, of course, fold it in half, and then fold it in half to the center this way and this way. And you could decide which side of these pages you want to use. And then what you've got is, let me just fold it the other way. So say I wanted this page. Now you've got something that's going to pop up. So then what I did is I just cut this down, made a nice rounded shape, and then flip up the bottom. So this is what the page looked like before, and then when this is flipped up like this is what the page looks like now. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is ink around it. So now what I want to do is find the center page right here. And then we're going to add this right to it. So when it closes, it'll fold like this. Like that. Let me zoom out just a little bit so that you can see just a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so all you need to do is glue this page down and this part down. So just these two ends. Just make sure you don't get any glue on these center pieces. Same side. And then when your page closes, you have a little flip out. Now here we want to go ahead and glue down right here, here, in the center here. It's probably better to do this before you actually put it into your journal. Got ahead of myself here, but that's okay. We're okay. And then just secure these down. And that'll give you your pockets. So now you have a little flip up. So now we can add all kinds of pieces of ephemera that you can just tuck in all your pockets. So there's the page pop out. I think that's fun. Okay, I happen to see this on my porch prints. So if you're interested in that, you can go check out my porch prints. Okay, then the other thing I wanted to show you, there's a couple more things I wanted to show you. One of them is this little envelope clip that we're going to put on the other side. So we're going to do that. And then the other thing we're going to do is a hidden paper clip, and that's what I have here. So let's just start with the hidden paper clip. I think that would be easiest. Just tuck that back on here. I'll set this aside. Okay, so I've got some pieces prepared. So let me just give you a few measurements. So I have a piece that's 7 inches long, and it's about 3.5 inches wide. And this is like a 65-pound cardstock. It's not too heavy. Then I have another piece of paper from the kit that I've cut, and I've cut this one to be just a little bit smaller all the way around. So the first thing we want to do is let's round the corners. You don't have to do the rounding of the corners if you don't want to. So you just keep that in mind. So round the corners, and we're going to round the corners on this piece as well. And this is just a really simple hidden paper clip. Next, ink and press that down really good. And then take your paper clip and put it right over the top. Then we're going to fold this piece in half. We're going to glue this piece over the top. Let's see. Think about like that. Now this is directional paper, so it's kind of hard to make sure you got it going the right way. But I think actually this looks pretty good. So I'm going to glue one side and then the other. So that way, when you go to put it on a page, you've got your paper clip hidden and it goes easily onto your page. So then I just grabbed a couple of pieces, and I think I'm going to do is I'm going to just fold this in half, ink around the edges. You can decorate these any way you want. You can just decorate, you can add a little tuck spot or a pocket. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to go ahead and punch these holes out. Let's see, I think I can use the small one. I used an eyelet on the other one, but I'm not going to on this one. It really made it kind of bulky. Just going to punch it. And then I'm going to glue, let's see, this right to the top. Then you can decide which way you want this to go. Do you want, this to be the front or the other? But either way, each side has the same decoration. Press that down really good. So that makes a fun decoration. And then all I did was I punched a circle. I think it was like 1.5 inch circle. And I just thought it would be fun to add a little tuck spot. So I'm just going to glue this here and just a tiny bit on the bottom, not much. And place it right there so that something could be tucked in. And then you can do other decoration. You can add this onto one side or the other. In fact, let's do it on this side. You've got choices which way you want this to go, but either way on the page, you're going to have something pretty to look at when you turn the page and you see this hidden paper clip. So I wanted to put one on each side of the double journal, just like the pockets from the envelopes and also the envelope flip. Let's see, what else do we have over here that we could actually just tuck this in right there. Like that. Let's ink it up. So there we have our hidden paper clip. So let's go ahead and put that on our other side of our double journal. So let's find a page we can put this on. How about right here? Perfect. Okay. The last thing that I want to show you is this envelope flip. So what I have is, I have an envelope that is, let's see, let me give you correct measurements of the envelope to make sure, because I have some other markings on here. So we are looking at about 4 7/8 by 6.5, and that is a cream colored envelope. We also have a CD envelope, and these are about just a hair under 5 by 5. And then we have this one, which is 4.5 by 6.25. So the way the envelope flip works is we're going to have one that goes this way, put this flap on the right. This one, the flap will go glued behind it on the left. And then on this is where our CD envelope is going to go. Now I'm going to open this side of the CD envelope. Now I've already got one page cut that's going to go on this large one here. We're not going to cover the back because we're going to glue this straight down. So that's going to go there, and then these will go here. So what we want to do is we want to cut some pieces out of the leftover pages that I have here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is get these pieces cut. This one is going to be 4 7/8 by 4 7/8. Now you're going to need a front one and you're going to need a back one. And then I'm using this die, which happens to fit perfectly, to cut the circle out. So I'll be doing that off camera. And then on this one, I'm going to be cutting the pieces. I'm not using these as pockets at all. So we're going to be closing the envelopes up. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, get these all cut off camera, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so I have all the pieces cut. So this one I already had cut. I'm going to go ahead and put this down. And I had printed these double-sided, and then I didn't use all of them. So that's why you see a print on both sides. Just choose whichever side you like. So this will go on here. And just center it as best you can. It's not very small, much smaller than my envelope, because I like to have things covered pretty well. And then this one, I just took my envelope, and again, it's just like 1/8 of an inch, less than 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Sometimes I like to have a larger border, and sometimes I don't. So just whatever your preference is, and just cover your envelopes. And again, I'm not using these as pockets, so I am sealing the back shut. So this is now going to come over here, and then this one is going to come on this side. I think on the one in here, I think I did it a little different. Let's just see. Yeah, so I had this one coming this way. So actually this is perfect because it's going to go on the other side, and so it will open outward. So that's kind of how I'm doing it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this flap down on the back, and I'm going to glue this one shut. So we'll just add glue to this envelope, seal it shut. If you want to use it as pockets, then don't seal them shut. But I decided not to on this particular project. Seal that down. Okay, now we're going to add this piece to this side. So you got something pretty to look at no matter which, when you flip it open. Okay, so that goes like that. And then I have all the pieces for my CD envelope. So I just want to make sure I get it going the right way. Okay, so this is going to go on here. Now my opening is here, not the inside part here. It's too hard to get into. I want to make it easy to slide the card in. So let's put this one on. And I've inked all around all the edges, both of the envelopes and of each of the pieces, including the center opening on this one. And we're just going to put this down. And basically all I do is cut the piece to size, and then I kind of center the die looking at the envelope and cutting the circle out. So just do the best you can if you're doing that. Now on the back side, I'm going to put this. So let's go ahead and put that on here and center it. And then we're going to go ahead and glue this flap down. And that makes our other flip. So now we've got this and we've got this. And you can add pockets and all kinds of stuff in here if you want to. Okay, so now the center of this, I want this card to go inside. So I've cut a piece of cardstock just a little bit smaller than my opening. And then I've cut the piece that I want on top just a little bit smaller than that. So we're going to glue this on here. And you can add a tab if you want to. I don't have the space on this particular journal, but if you had a regular, just fold in half journal with a spine, you could definitely add a tab. Or if you decided to have it be a top loading, cutting this open rather than this, you could certainly do that. And so this will pop in here like that. And there is our second envelope flip, which is going to go on the other side of our double journal. So open that up, and this is going to go right here. So everything will flip out nicely. So I'm just going to glue it down. I'm going to flip it all the way over so I can press this down good. Just give it a good press. Because we have the closure here, we just need to kind of fold it to make it easy to add our envelope flip. Okay, so we have envelope flips in. We have the hidden paper clips, and I'll be adding a couple more envelopes. Actually, we can do that now. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to punch with a 1-inch circle punch. And one of them I did backwards. And that was purely by accident, but I kind of like the way it came out. So I'll show you what I did on that one. When I made backwards, I put the acetate on the wrong side. So let's do it this way. So what I did wrong is I put the acetate here on one of them. So I'll make the mistake again because I actually turned it into a different kind of a pocket. So I'll take our acetate and glue it on this side. And ink the edges. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue the whole thing shut. And the reason why is because I'll use the back part as a pocket. So this was my happy mistake. But then it was like, oh, I could do this too. Sometimes we can work through our mistakes. And then I'm going to seal this all up. And then when I glue this in, then you'll have a pocket back here rather than inside here. This one I'll do the correct way. Okay, so I have these two. One will be a pocket this way and one will be a pocket back behind here. So let's find us a page in here where we can have something peeking through. I think I like that. So I'm going to glue this one all the way down. And we can add our ephemera in here. And then let's see, we need to find a place for this one, I think on the back. And then we're just going to glue the three sides. Leave the top open and tuck ephemera in that way. So a couple of different ideas. When you don't have maybe pockets and things that come with your kit, you can always make do by creating this type of pocket. Let's just tuck a few more things in here. Comes with lots of different cards and tags. So you can just put them in however you like. And let's put another one over here. Trying to keep the openings there. And then here we've got some smaller, taller tags that can be popped in here like that. Need to be a little narrower so we can add all kinds of pieces in here. Tuck in ephemera. So if you're given this as a gift, the person who gets it will have some things to play with. We have all kinds of tall ones. So we've got that. Oh, let's see. We need to add one more piece over here. Tuck that in, and then we close it up. We've got that, and then on this side, let's fill our pockets here. So we've got some more pieces. Just tuck these in. Trying to use up all my pieces if possible. So we'll just tuck a few more things in here. Like that. So then when that closes up. And let's see. Okay, I think as far as that, we've got that going. Now the only other thing that I kind of wanted to do with you is I found this trim in my stash. And I think it will go really pretty on the top and the bottom on each side. So if I cut a piece to go here, so let's just do one side, and then let's do a piece underneath here. Oops, I grabbed the wrong scissors. I need my fabric scissors. They work much better. Okay, and let's use some Fabri-Tac. And let's glue this down. And I think that will add the finishing touches to both sides of this double journal. Now I know I didn't do the construction, but this is a project that I learned from Victoria Designs. So you can check out her channel. And then let's do our small piece. This trim, I think, is really going to bring it out. They make it pop. Yeah, I think that's pretty. Okay, let's do it on this side as well. So cut a piece here. And here. I was really hoping I had some trim that I could put on this, and I wanted something that had like embroidery or looked like embroidery just to set it off. So I think this does the trick. Yeah, that looks pretty. That looks pretty. Let me put this one on and then it can dry. And then what I'm going to do is finish decorating, do the other side, just like I did on this side. And then I'll come back to you and any other decorating. I've got some other pieces of ephemera to slip into the pockets. And so I want to do that. And then I'll come back to you and we will do a complete flip through of this beautiful double journal. Okay, she's finished. She's gorgeous. I absolutely love it. I love this rustic embroidery kit. So let me show you how I constructed a lot of this. So I did follow a video on Victoria Designs on a double journal. Now I just did my own measurements based on the size of my pages that were going to go in here. So maybe down the road I will do an actual tutorial, but for right now I would send you over to Victoria Designs. Look for her double journal video. So what I've done is, as a double journal, you've got a full journal on one side and one on the other. Now on camera we did do some of this decorating, but off camera I did set up the pages to where I could kind of continue that page on that was underneath here. So I have this beautiful ladder. I just absolutely love this paper, and I have decal edged all the edges when I have cut them on everything that's covered inside and out except for the spine pieces, and also I've decal edged all the pages inside each side of the journal. So let's open it up, and on this side is where we have an envelope flip, and I do show you how to create this. Now you can create this to have pockets, but this paper is so gorgeous I really didn't want to cover up a whole lot. So I did create it with a card on the inside, which is on a card stock, which is a little heavier. So we've got like a 65-pound, and I glued it to that. Now if this was a regular journal I would add a tab, or you could actually make this top here open and then pull it out that way and add a tab. But because I don't have a whole lot of room, I didn't add a tab there. So let me just go through the pages, and you can see how gorgeous they are. Now this is the hidden paper clip that we did. This is one that I did off camera, and I made a little pocket on the front to house this little tag out of a mini envelope. So you can get as creative as you want to. And I just added some ephemera pieces. I did add an eyelet here, and down here this is a little tuck spot. So you can just get creative on these. There's so many things you can do with it. So I also made it to where it would come down into the journal. Whoops, got it on 2 pages. Let's just remove that for now. Okay, so let's go through the rest of the pages. You can see why I didn't want to cover them all up. They are absolutely gorgeous. Now here, what we did on camera, and you can embellish this more, is I did make these envelopes with little peekaboo window here so that you could see what's underneath, but also to hold ephemera. Now this kit comes with some ephemera pieces, but really no pockets, although some of them could be turned into pockets. So I decided to just pull out some of these bright colors and add in some envelopes and use them in pockets. Now here I took the extra pieces of ephemera I had and just paper clipped them in. But underneath here you can see this beautiful bag. Flowers in here are just gorgeous, and the colors so beautiful. So here we did a flip. It's like a flip out, actually. So it's just done with a sheet of paper, and then it is glued here on the sides. It's flipped up to make pockets, and then I just loaded it with ephemera. So super fun little easy project to do that you can slip into your journals. And when it closes nice and flat. Here's another one of the envelope pockets. Just love these pages. They're so pretty. And I did use elastic binding in this. And the reason why I did the elastic binding is because you can take these out if you want to further write on them or decorate them, then you have that option. Now this envelope was a happy accident. I did show you what I did on that. So this one I glued the acetate on the wrong side. So I decided to make it a pocket this way. So I just added the beautiful flower underneath to peek through, and then sealed it all up, and then made the pocket in the back side to hold the ephemera. So this is the first side of our double journal. I would have used a different closure. Now that I've built this, I think I would use a closure that has a little hook. So these probably weren't the best choice of mine, but next time when I make one of these, I would definitely use closures that have a little hook on them to hold them in place. This is the other side. So this is the other side of our journal. I added the same trim because it just really pulled out everything. So let's open it up, and on this side is where we have our envelope flip. This one I did off camera. I love the little dog here, and so I had to put him front and center. And then the little kitty here, and then these beautiful papers. Oh my gosh, there's just so much beauty in these. Now this journal goes in this way, but you can flip it this way and then still open it up. So we'll go through it this way. So we look at these gorgeous papers. I just cannot say enough about them. Andrea and her mom have done an amazing job on these. So beautiful. I just love working with their digitals. Again, I decal edged all the papers, all the signature inside. I've also used some walnut stain for all of the distressing. So just to kind of make it pop. Decorate a little bit more on this pocket. I may go back and do some of the others on the other pockets, but this turned out really nice. Little peekaboo. And then here is the flip, or I guess a pop-out. I guess you want to call it a pop-out. I learned this from my porch prints. Super easy with just a piece of paper, and I show you in the process how to create this, and they're really easy to do and fun, and something unique you can add to any kind of a journal, whatever you're making. Another pocket here. This one I did the happy accident again, so I had one for each side. And then I also clipped a bunch of the extra ephemera pieces there that can be used at any time, whoever gets this journal. And then here is the second hidden paper clip, and I just tucked this in here. And on this side I just added this flower. So just to give it some pretty things to look at on both sides. And then here we are at the end of this side of the journal. So I hope this gave you some inspiration, although I didn't show you how to create the whole thing. Again, you can see that on Victoria Designs, her YouTube channel. She does an amazing job on that. But I wanted to showcase Polka Art Studio Rustic Embroidery, and I thought this was perfect to do it with, and just show you some things that you can put inside your journal, if not one of these, one of your journals that you may be working on at your crafty space. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless you all, and hopefully we'll see you at the next video. Bye!